What more have we learned over the weekend? In particular, I'm struck by the comment that Mark Faulkner made about how he was Jedi mind-tricking regulators into accepting minimal new training for pilots. What do you think the significance of these disclosures is ultimately going to be in terms of what Boeing is now required to do to get this plane back in the sky?
Right. Well, so the company has said that these messages were not, in fact, anything about MCAS. The company is saying that what Faulkner was talking about was problems in the simulator. But at the same time, we published a story that indicated that Mr. Faulkner was sending emails saying that he had Jedi mind-tricked regulators into accepting minimal training on the MAX. So what you're seeing here is a daily drumbeat of negative news headlines for the company, again, as its CEO is facing congressional hearings in the coming weeks. And you're seeing this outside pressure start to mount, and finally it is reaching the board level. As you said, the board is meeting today. The meeting should last until the afternoon, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be very difficult right now for the company to maintain the current steady hand that it has. There are a lot of calls internally and externally for accountability.
Natalie, I'm curious, many people have been asking and looking at the timing here with regard to Boeing's cooperation with the criminal probe that led to the disclosure of this information to its direct regulator and now to Congress. Why weren't these internal messages made public or at least made available to their regulator sooner? Does this order of events make sense to you, or does it itself raise any concern about Boeing sitting on these messages?
So I think what's important is that Boeing has said that it is complying with the criminal investigation and that it did not provide the messages to the regulator because of that criminal investigation. But lawmakers have not been satisfied with that response, and they were livid on Friday when this news came out. And the regulator itself, Stephen Dixon, you saw him sending a message to Muilenburg expressing his displeasure with the news. So while the company has said it is complying with the investigation, you have outsiders, again, important outsiders here on the Hill and at the regulator becoming concerned with the disclosures.
And Phil, you know, the CEO, as you just said, has reportedly put out this internal email trying to reassure employees that the 737 MAX is still on target. But that's the main concern by the analyst community. And his own position is going to be one of increasing uncertainty. I mean, it's unlikely they're going to do anything before he's about to appear on Capitol Hill, right? That's in about 10 days' time.
You mean in terms of letting him go? Are you suggesting will they do something before he well, the feeling among a number of analysts, and look, nobody's inside the boardroom, so nobody knows for sure, but the feeling among a number of analysts is if they're going to make a switch and say, you know what, Dennis Muilenburg is not the right guy to lead this company, would you do it right before you do earnings? And would you do it right before he's being called to testify on Capitol Hill? Because theoretically, if you did that, then you'd bring in a new CEO who maybe is also testifying with Dennis Muilenburg at that hearing, and you'd get a lot of, well, we're going to get to the bottom of this. We'll make sure that everything, is fine, and we will cooperate. There's just not the dynamics do not appear to match up with what people are saying should happen in terms of potentially removing Dennis Muilenburg. And I should also point out, Kelly, I do not get a sense, while I do get a sense that there is a demand for accountability within the company, I do not get a sense that there is a drumbeat of, hey, Dennis Muilenburg is responsible for all of this and he's got to go. That doesn't mean it couldn't happen, but I just don't get that sense that it's imminent.